Well, we're back again, and Bill and I were talking this morning. We wanted to share more about food with you and health. And so today we're going to talk about what we see as a major change in the world. People are moving more and more toward plant-based eating and beginning to see that there's real deep value in it.
Yeah, we're hearing more and more people saying they're going vegan or they're trying vegan, and there's more and more vegan options at restaurants these days. I read something recently that meat consumption's actually down 17% in the last decade. So
Down 17% in the last decade. Meat is diminishing. Yay!
yeah, well, and it's not that we have something against meat. It's just to us a sign that people are beginning to understand that there are some health consequences to eating a high meat diet, which is the standard American diet. And so, we're kind of wondering now, is this something that's really getting some traction in the world of food, in the world of health, or are we just kind of spinning our wheels? And it really looks like we're getting some traction. And the reason I think that is because there's so much research being done on the benefits of a whole food plant-based diet that so many people refer to as vegan, but we like to use the term whole food plant-based because vegan implies you're eating no animal products. But you can be vegan and eat all processed foods, high in sugar and flour and all these processed foods, and not be healthy. So when you switch that to the whole food program, it's hard to avoid getting healthy. Yeah. So,
yeah, just like us. We have had our challenges, but we keep seeing how whole food plant-based and now salt, oil, and sugar-free keep taking us to great health with no pain and lots of energy, which we love.
We seem to keep getting more and more traction on this road to health, to really good health. And we saw a Netflix documentary, You Are What You Eat. And they chronicled a Michelin 3-star restaurant in New York City on 11 Madison Avenue that had 3 Michelin stars. That's the very top. And very expensive. I think it's like $335 per person to eat. And you just go and you eat and you order. And it's not like art. And so they do what the high-end fine dining restaurants do, quite a unique place. And the owner and chef decided last year to go vegan. And he got his group around and said, do you think we can do this? And they brainstormed and they decided, let's go for it. And there was a lot of backlash. They got a lot of pushback. And to a lot of people's surprise, they maintained their 3-star status without a single meat dish. That to me says there's a trend changing, a sea change. So whole food plant-based, it's not just, healthy. It's also, it can be very creative and very delicious.
Oh, we love the way the food tastes. As we've said many times, I never knew food could taste this good. It just gets better and better with no salt, no oil, no sugar. Heaven. Now, I never would have believed it before, but I'm experiencing it every day now.
That's a good point. I think back to when we first started, we enjoyed the food, but it was kind of like, I'm going to eat this because it makes me feel good and it's healthy. But anymore, with the way you make dishes and what we create together, it is delicious. It's so much better than anything I've ever had. And I think back to the comfort foods as a child, but those were comfort foods. And these are nourishing foods, delicious, nourishing foods. And the old comfort foods just can't hold a candle.
Yeah, well, I really want to thank Chef AJ and all the people in the SOS community that I've learned from, because it's been wonderful and made it very easy for me to let go of salt, oil, and sugar and love the food.
Yeah, I think this movement, if you want to call it that, is really getting traction. And what helps a lot, of course, is what so many doctors like Dr. Joel Fuhrman and Dr. Michael Greger keep sharing with us the scientific research that's showing how making these changes from an animal-based diet to a whole food plant-based diet lowers cholesterol and reverses diabetes and reverses cardiovascular disease. So many things.
Lowers blood pressure like mine has come way down. I'm so happy.
And eliminates the arthritic pain like I experienced. So there's so many research projects now showing the benefits. And one other thing that we were recently became aware of was Eric Adams, the current mayor of New York City. He switched to vegan.
Bless him. I love what he's doing.
Yeah, he's got some good YouTube videos. But basically, he woke up one morning and he couldn't read his alarm clock. So he knew something was wrong. And he went to the doctor and they did the checks, and he was very diabetic. And they told him that, he will probably be blind in a few years. He may lose some fingers and toes. He had neuropathy, he was having tingling and that. And so they said, here are your meds, and this will help kind of stabilize you. It's just about living with diabetes now. You've got diabetes. And it was kind of a lifelong sentence. And for some reason, I forget how it was that he came about this decision. He Googled reversing diabetes, and he saw all these articles. And he got in touch with Dr. Greger, and they got together and he made this shift to whole food plant-based and lifestyle changes. His eyesight is completely normal now. All the neuropathy is gone. His blood sugar levels are stable and normal. There's no sign of diabetes in him.
Well, one thing, it was Dr. Esselstyn that he actually connected with and went to visit. And Esselstyn gave him a whole food plant-based regimen that created all these results. He may have learned from Greger as well.
Okay, so but the neat thing about Eric Adams is that when he saw this change, he saw what it could mean to the city of New York. If he could reverse diabetes, look at all the money that was being spent treating people with diabetes and how much money people were spending on meds. And he just saw, if we can get people to change their diet and lifestyle, the resources, both in terms of money and energy and time on the job, all these things that were being affected by ill health, it could make a world of difference. And so he has implemented a number of projects in the hospitals and in the schools to have vegan options.
And in the prisons.
And in the prisons, that's right there too.
So great.
And so anyway, it seems like whole food plant-based may be here to stay. It's getting good traction around the world.
It's growing. Hallelujah.
It's growing. And we don't really have a stake in what other people do, but we so love what has occurred in our lives as a result of making this change. And we see the possibility of all this resource that we could kind of reclaim financially and in terms of energy and vitality and productivity in the workforce if we get ourselves healthier. So we're all for it.
Yeah, so if you want to experiment with whole food plant-based, just give us a comment below and we'll support you.
Yeah, glad to talk with you anytime. Thanks for joining us. Oh, what about a recipe?
Oh, recipe. We for sure wanted recipe what we did yesterday.
So we did chocolate macaroons.
Yeah.
So we've been playing with a chocolate macaroon recipe for years, but as we've wanted to get more and more whole food based and SOS free, the original had coconut oil, had maple syrup, and had stevia in it. Actually, I think the original might have had sugar in it, and I put maple syrup and stevia. But we've completely eliminated the oil. There's no oil in it anymore. We use dates now for the sweetener, and we added a carrot. I thought that was so clever. I came
I
across that
love
on
that.
somebody's blog. And so we use a small carrot. So now our beautiful chocolate macaroons are completely whole food based, SOS free, and they have these little orange specks that makes them look so playful. And they're delicious. So we'll share that with you. Thanks for joining us.
Thanks.